Hello and welcome back to Aubrey Books and Coffee. Please grab your favorite beverage of choice and join me. We are going to go through some more books on the GoodReads nominee list. It is now into the final round, so we need to hurry up and do these readings so we can get our votes in before December 1st. And then the new list will be out December 5th, and that will be the final and the winners in each category. So without further ado, let's hurry up and get this vlog going. So I'm 25% into That's Not My Name, and it's interesting. I think I know where it's going. So far, we have a teenage girl who was picked up by a police officer in the middle of nowhere. Some pretty severe injuries on her, but she doesn't want to go to the hospital. She has amnesia. Hi, Whiskey. She doesn't remember her name or anything, or how she got hurt or anything. And the police officer is actually very, very kind to her. I'm getting groomed. Very kind to her, and is like trying to help her figure out who she is and take care of her and stuff. Thank you, buddy. I love you too. And basically, all of a sudden, a guy shows up and he claims to be her father. He's got paperwork and pictures on his phone and stuff. And it just doesn't feel right to her. Like, it just doesn't match. She's still not remembering anything. And so the police officer's like, well, before you go with him, like, I'm going to go with you guys and kind of scope out the house. And I need to see more documentation, more proof, just to make sure everything's okay. So the police officer is basically taking her to this cabin that her supposed father lives at and stuff. And I don't know. Me personally, because I won't do spoilers, my personal thought is this guy like kidnapped her or something, and because it just, I don't know, something doesn't seem quite right. But it could also be a red herring. I mean, this could totally be her dad. And then we get a separate story that's following a boy whose girlfriend has gone missing, and everybody is blaming the boyfriend. And it seems like they've assumed that after all this time that she's dead and he's to blame. And he's like, why am I the only one still searching for her? You guys keep thinking I killed her, but I didn't. And so I still choose to believe she's alive. And it's making me wonder, is this going to be the same girl, or is this somebody from before? And this guy claiming to be her dad is actually like a serial kidnapper and killer. I don't know. I have so many theories going on right now. So it's at 25%. So we'll see where it goes from here. So I'm now 50% into That's Not My Name, and I think I'm right, everyone. I do. I really think I'm right. I'm getting all the oogies from this guy. Like, all the oogies. He's sus. He is very, very sus. And I'm hoping that her memories come quickly. And meanwhile, the boyfriend now has a team with him to try to figure out what's happened to his girlfriend. And that part feels extremely young. Like whenever it's the girl who is home with dad, I am so in it. Like, I am pulled in. I am intrigued. I'm dying to see what happens. But when it goes back to the boyfriend, and I'm just positive they're going to tie these stories together eventually. But when it has the boyfriend, he's now got this band of people with him that feels very like Nancy Drew meets A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Like, it feels very much like that. And I get that they're going to need to find like evidence and stuff, but it just, coming across very, very young. So it takes me out of the story a little bit, to be honest. So we'll see. But I am enjoying it. I am still in it, and dying to know if I'm right. So I am running some errands. It's nice and rainy out. Hooray! But I am now about 76% into That's Not My Name. And I just wanted to say, everybody, trust your instincts, okay? Trust your instincts. Listen to my voice. Hear my voice in your head. Don't doubt yourself. If something feels wonky, it's wonky because you felt that way. There's no other explanation needed, no other reasoning, no other evidence. It's wonky. Walk away. Go find help. Go do something else. Don't just go with it so you don't create waves. I'm saying grab a surfboard, create waves. It's still definitely reading very young, of course, because it's YA, and it feels young YA, like almost middle school level YA. But pretty much I have called everything thus far, and there's no like twists or surprises. But yeah, it's got me though. I mean, the writing is very easy to read and I'm enjoying it. Again, still kind of caring less when the little sleuths get together. You know, what was that TV show? It was like, the investigators or something like that. Anyway, so it kind of has those vibes, but yeah, aside from that, I am having a good time. I'm enjoying it, and it's reminding me to stick up for myself and what I believe in, and I'm saying this, you guys do the same too. All right, so I finished That's Not My Name, and I gotta say, keep in mind it definitely reads very YA, very young, and you do have to suspend disbelief just a little bit, a couple times, not to an annoying degree, but enough that, you know, it you don't think it would happen exactly like that in the real world, but again, to move the story along, I get it. And I have to say, I did see the ending coming. I'm pretty sure everybody will. And again, you have to kind of suspend disbelief a little bit at the end, because it's one of those where it's like, this guy who claimed to be her dad was supposed to be like much older, so like older than me even, and she's like athletic, but somehow he has like superhuman strength and speed all the time, so you have to kind of suspend disbelief with that, which makes me roll my eyes, and it does pull me out of the story a little bit, but it was still so well written that I'm gonna give it a 4 stars, and I'm pretty positive this is the one I'll be voting for in the YA fiction column, because it's the best one by far for all the ones that I've read. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that one. It was enjoyable, just predictable, and sometimes a little on the fiction, a little heavy on the fiction side, but it was good. So moving on, let's go ahead and do another spin, shall we? And it looks like we're landing on romance. Ooh, okay, I'm excited about romance. If I remember correctly, I think Leather and Lark is actually in the romance category, which means I'm 100% picking that up because I really enjoyed Butcher and Blackbird, and I really want to get to the sequel. So let's go ahead and just call it that. So I am about 25% into Leather and Lark, and it's gotten me. I know it's not everybody's favorite, but so far I am really, really intrigued. I've got to be honest. And of course my cats choose this moment to eat breakfast, so I apologize if you hear kibble in the background. But yeah, it's actually really interesting. In Butcher and Blackbird, we had the main character, of course, who was Blackbird, and she had a friend that she called Meadowlark, Lark for short. And so this is, of course, her story. And we kind of got hinted at how they met at this boarding school and how they'd gotten to know each other and become friends, but no real solid details. We're starting to get those now in the story, just little bits here and there. And it's so funny because it feels like at 25% that this is going to be a trope of enemies to lovers or a marriage of convenience and things like that. There's things being set up. It feels like there's actually like rival families that will just say move things that are illegal and clean up things that are illegal and stuff like that. So it kind of feels, I don't know, it feels interesting, and I really like it. And I like both characters. I like Lark, and I'm like, I don't know, I guess he's going to be named Leather probably. And I don't want to give anything away, so I'm just going to say it that way, because there's a teeny reveal in the beginning. But yeah, so far I'm digging it, because it's one of my favorite tropes, and yeah, so far I'm really having a good time. So I'm now 50% into Leather and Lark, and it's getting a little deeper. They're kind of starting to get to know each other a little bit better, and the families are kind of getting involved a little bit more now, and yeah, it's a little bit slower in through this part, but I don't mind it. I think it's sweet. I think we're getting to know these characters on a more deeper level and their interactions on a more deeper level. But it's definitely slow burn. So I can see why a lot of people didn't like it as much as Butcher and Blackbird, because that one was brand new. You know, we were not used to seeing serial killers fall in love kind of thing. And it was more excitement and you had a lot of action happening. Whereas this one's not really so much action. It's more family. And Lark has a very sick aunt, and so we're seeing some of that too. So do make sure you check out trigger warnings in case that's one of your triggers. But yeah, like I'm still really in it. I am still enjoying this just as much as Butcher and Blackbird. So yeah. All right, so I've got the Thanksgiving turkey in the oven, and I wanted to give you a quick update. I am a little over 75% into Leather and Lark, and we're getting into the spicy stuff. We just had a scene at a concert, and that's all I'm gonna say about that, because if you're planning on reading it, you need to experience it for yourself, but it had me blushing. And so yeah, so it's getting spicy. But they're now starting to kind of sow the seeds of things of, I think somebody's after them, and I think that's where we're gonna run into some problems. So interested to see where it goes. It's still very slow progression, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, I'm excited about Thanksgiving, and Rumble Toes says happy Thanksgiving as well. Don't you, buddies? Don't ya? Say happy Thanksgiving. So I finished it. As I was getting Thanksgiving all nice and prepped and ready for the family, I was able to finish Leather and Lark, wasn't I, Rumble Toes? And so yeah, it was good. Oh, I'm gonna give it 4 stars, just like I did Butcher and Blackbird. Beware, it is extremely spicy. Yes, extremely spicy. And it is definitely slower than the first book, but I don't mind that. I really don't. I was never bored just because of the way they banter and because of the things that they do. I will say the climax scene, the most stressful part of the book, didn't really feel that high stakes to me. On paper it should, but the way it was written, it just didn't feel as high stakes to me as it did in the first one. So I think that may be some people's complaints as well, but I didn't mind it. I really didn't. I feel like they had their own separate story, and I really cared about the characters, and yeah, it still made me happy to read it. I had a wonderful time, so I'm giving 4 stars, and let's go ahead and spin that wheel. And it looks like it's gonna be fiction. Ooh, okay, so for fiction, I've been wanting to do intermezzo or mezzo or however you pronounce that. I'm gonna say intermezzo. I've been wanting to do that one for a while now. I have it through Book of the Month on audio, so it should go nice and quick as well. And yeah, like I've been hearing some mixed stuff, and it looks like a chessboard on the front or something, so I'm kind of excited to get to start on this one. We're about to eat dinner, so I may not continue the rest of today, but I got to finish a whole book today, so I'm not mad at it. And I will, hi Whiskey, update you guys whenever I do. Yes, I has all the cats, all the cats. Aww. All right, I tried. I did, everyone. I tried so hard to do intermezzo. I got over an hour into it, and maybe it's the narrator, although I really feel like in print I would still have the same reaction. I'm just bored. I just don't care. We even had a spicy scene, and I'm like, like I really don't care. I am just so incredibly bored, and so this just is not the book for me. Maybe it's because it's more literary fiction and I tend to like more of the fantasy kind of thing, or a mystery or thriller. I just was really bored, so I'm gonna DNF this one and go ahead and wrap up this vlog. And there we have it. Oh, I was so pleasantly surprised by this week. I enjoyed getting the That's Not My Name. I would never have picked this one up, and it was another surprise 4-star for me. Really enjoyed it and had a good time. Spoiler, it was my pick for the YA fiction category. It was just that good. Then we got Leather and Lark. Of course, this was also a 4-star. I enjoyed Butcher and Blackbird. I'm not surprised. This one was also a win for me. However, it was not the pick that I did for the romance category, but that's a secret unless you ask me individually. And then last but unfortunately least, we got Intermezzo, and it was just not for me. So unfortunately a DNF. But all in all, so many newfound favorites that I had during this. So I have so enjoyed doing these vlogs. I hope you've been enjoying them too. Let me know if you read any of these or if you're planning on picking them up. Let me know who you're voting for if you want to go ahead and put that out there. And then I'll see you next time when we start reading through the finalists.